Will Campbell, you are going to be a Chicago Bear. Maybe. We'll see if you fall. But at this point, if the LSU left tackle falls to number 10, let me just say, I am all in. Arm length be damned. All right? He is too good. You look across the board, he checks every box besides the arm length. Pass game, run game, athleticism, makeup, character. He's got team captain written all over him in the future. Just plays the game a nasty way, which is exactly what the Bears need. So when it comes to the arm length conversation, yes, he's on the shorter end. Are there situations where that might hurt him? Sure, yeah. If he's going up against Myles Garrett, you're probably going to want to bring him some extra help. Guess what? You're probably going to do that anyway in most games. So I think he's the exception to the rule when it comes to the arm length conversation. I've spent a lot of time watching him, thinking about this, and I just feel like he's too good to pass up on if he falls to you at number 10. Now, maybe I wouldn't trade up for him because of the arm length issue, quote unquote, but if he falls to 10, I'm all in. It's still an area that the Bears need more help, which we'll talk about in a second. But for more on Will Campbell and how he actually looks as a prospect, let's get our all-city draft analyst, the real expert, Fran Duffy. Here's his thoughts on Will Campbell.
All right, let's take a look now at LSU left tackle Will Campbell, a player that has been a little bit divisive, but one of the more highly regarded prospects in this draft class. 6'6", 319 pounds. The big question is the arm length. We'll get to that in a little bit. Let's get into the positives here and the overall profile. This is a 3-year starter, a 2-year captain for LSU. So a true junior who stepped on campus right from the jump and became a starter and became a captain by his sophomore season. Has only played left tackle. That's a little bit of a red flag on the resume there. He's never played any other position. But when you're looking at Campbell, all the athletic traits, the quickness is there, the explosiveness, the power. He's much more powerful than you imagine because he could be a little bit unassuming when you walk up on Will Campbell. This is a guy that can create his own movement in the run game. He plays with outstanding leverage, and then he just runs his feet on contact and gets defensive tackles uprooted from their spot. And so when you're looking at him, all right, he's got power. He can handle a bull rush. I never saw him overwhelmed once in pass protection. And that's where I'm going to get into the arm length because a lot of people, obviously, look, he came in 32.5-inch arms, more or less, depending on which measurement you're looking at. But under 33 inches, that typically means you're going to slide inside the guard, big fella. You're not going to be a left tackle. But what I would say is when you look at the tape with Will Campbell, number one, I never saw him overwhelmed by pass rushers at any point over the course of his career. Jared Verse, back in 2023, gave him a little bit of trouble early on. Jared Verse went on to have a really good rookie season last year for the LA Rams. But outside of that, I think that when you're looking at Will Campbell, this guy held up extremely well in the SEC, one of the best conferences in football. He saw some of the best pass rushers week after week after week. And one of the things I love, I go back and go through some of these numbers. Pro Football Focus, they have a metric that is called a true pass set, where you're basically eliminating RPOs and screens and play action. And you say, all right, how often was this offensive lineman asked to just go from A to B, drop back in pass protection, and not have anything else that's going to impact the defensive end's path to get to the quarterback? So it's just a straight, clean pass rush snap. Will Campbell was asked to do that on 39% of his snaps in his entire career. That's the highest ratio of any offensive tackle drafted in the last decade. Again, that's per the PFF numbers. Go into my spreadsheet. How often was he asked to do it? To me, from my numbers, higher than any tackle drafted in the last 10 years. And in those situations, PFF credited him with 0 sacks. And I believe it was 4 hurries overall in those situations. So this is a guy, again, in the SEC. He did that at a high level in pass protection. And also, by the way, when you're looking at a lot of these pass protection metrics and how much production you give up to pass rushers, the guys that come on the field early on as freshmen, usually it doesn't go well. Usually you're a 17-year-old, you're an 18-year-old, you get to college, you've got to block these 22-year-olds, the defensive ends coming off the edge. You've got some aliens down there in the SEC. This guy came in from Jump Street, started for LSU, and did not give up any kind of level of production. That's why he earned captain status as a sophomore, and then again just went on to have a great career with the Bayou Bengals. So to me, when you're looking at Will Campbell, Yes, for some teams, you might say he's got to move inside to guard. I still have faith he can play tackle. Do I think he can play guard? Absolutely. With that strength, that power, that athleticism, could he go and beat Brandon Scherf? Brandon Scherf was a top 5 pick coming out of Iowa. He goes to Washington Commanders, and he had a great career there for a long time. I absolutely could see the same kind of outcome here for Will Campbell. That said, I'm perfectly fine letting him stick at tackle, let him fail there before you force him to kick inside. Obviously, you're going to get more value with him from the tackle spot. Either way, this is my favorite lineman in the draft. I like him in the run game. I like him in pass protection. I love the character, a peerless injury history. To me, Will Campbell, one of the safest prospects in this draft.
Okay, so Fran has Will Campbell number 5 overall on his big board. We actually have him at number 3 on our Bears 100, which is our separate big board, specifically catered to the Bears' needs and how they might have it lined up. You can get access to both. It's the best draft analysis out there. Become a CHGO diehard and follow along between now and the draft. It's a great resource. In the meantime, the need the Bears have at left tackle, why Will Campbell's probably still worth the pick. Braxton Jones, he's injured. Probably going to be limited at the start of training camp. And then Karan Amagaji. The Bears like him. We know that, but he's still young. He's still developing. Decent chance he's still not ready to go week 1. And even if he is, that's risky with Caleb Williams' development. So you add another piece to the puzzle. Will Campbell, somebody who could start week 1 for you, or at least push those guys. I'm all in. Will Campbell, number 10 overall, would be a great pick.